From castles to abandoned silos, here are 13 zombie-proof houses that could survive the apocalypse. Number 13, the Winding Tower Shime Coal Mine. The Winding Tower in Japan's abandoned Shime coal mine is perfect for the zombie apocalypse. This 156.3-foot tall structure was built from 1941 to 1943 and remained in operation for over 21 years before it was closed down in 1964. It was operated by the Imperial Japanese Navy and during the war used Allied prisoners of war to work in the mine. The offices and control rooms are located at the very top of the mining structure, which had an elevator that would lower workers and containers into the mine 430 meters below. Someone came across a picture of the mine, and now Photoshop contests using the mine have taken over the internet. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw the Shime mine in a zombie movie soon. Number 12, Lake Castle. Unless some zombies have really figured out how to swim, this huge moat surrounding this lake castle in Miami, Florida, should keep you safe from the undead mobs. This property also gets its water from wells, which sounds great until you realize that the most modern wells work off electricity. So, unless you can find a way to draw water without electricity or know how to install solar panels, you may have to look elsewhere for a reliable source of water. The property sits in the middle of a man-made lake. Currently, the house only has one entrance, and that is accessed by a normal bridge. Zombies could easily cross that bridge, but it can't be that hard to convert it into a drawbridge, right? Or maybe a nice barrier would do? Number 11, BJORK'S Almost House. The story goes that this isolated house located on the island called, however you pronounce that, was given to BJORK by her native Iceland. It was supposed to be an amazing thank you gift for putting Iceland on the international map. However, BJORK didn't accept the gift because for some reason there was public outcry. The story is false though, and it was never offered to BJORK. Another theory is that someone looking to get away from the world and prepare for the apocalypse built the house. This isn't true either. 300 years ago, the island was inhabited by 5 families that subsisted by fishing, hunting puffins, and raising cattle. By the 1930s, however, the last permanent inhabitants had left. Today, all that remains is a cabin that is a shelter and sauna for a local hunting association, which uses the cabin to hunt puffins on the island. Because of the sheer isolation and supply of fish and game, it would certainly make a suitable hiding place in case the rest of the world loses its mind. Number 10, Dunbar Rock. Called the Villa on Dunbar Rock, the 6-bedroom house has a private bath and balcony for each bedroom. It sits 30 feet above an abundant natural reef, which means plenty of sushi while you ride out the zombie apocalypse. The villa was not built to be a zombie-proof home. It's actually a resort perched on a private cay southeast of the mainland island of Guanaja in the Bay Islands, Honduras. This 15,000 square foot property is spread across 4 floors, complete with 8 air-conditioned rooms, most with 2 queen beds, all with private bath and balcony, rooftop bar, private helicopter pad, infinity pool, an indoor gym, an indoor bar, a dining area, and a small beach area. It is worthy of mention that sand fleas, which plague many mainland Honduras locations, are noticeably absent on this rocky island. So, not only will you enjoy plenty of fishing during the apocalypse, but you'll also be doing it in style. Number 9, Missile Silo House. Situated deep within the Adirondack State Park in upstate New York, this cabin was built atop a Cold War-era missile silo. The silo itself was built during the late 1950s, early 1960s. In 2011, this home was for sale, but has since been taken off the market. The above-ground home is 2,000 square feet. But if you use the keypad entry to the basement, you'll find 2,300 more square feet that was a former launch control center and has been converted with dining and entertainment space and has 2 bedroom suites complete with marble bathrooms. It has a 10-foot tall ceilings, simulated daylight, and an open floor plan. In this house, if the devouring hordes descend upon you and your friends, just hurry downstairs to safety. Number 8, Summit Shock. Summit Shock Incarceration is a 37-building former state correctional facility that is located on approximately 18 acres of land in the heart of rural Schoharie County. It opened in 1961 as a minimum security forestry and conservation camp. The property adjoins nearby state forest land, including Mallet Pond State Forest and Burnt Rossman Hills State Forest. State lands are open to the public for hunting, trapping, and fishing and other recreational purposes. It closed when Governor Cuomo did some major budget cuts and was sold to a developer who intended on turning it into an automotive junkyard. However, locals protested the move, saying it would bring down property value and potentially poison local water supplies. Amenities include an on-site water distribution system, including 2 drilled wells, chlorination and water softening system, and a 100,000-gallon elevated water tank and an underground sanitary sewer piping. It also has an underground storm water system, a 600-kilowatt emergency backup power generator, permitted wastewater treatment plant, and a 10 petroleum bulk storage tank. Currently, there are plans to turn the location into a drug and alcohol rehab center. Hopefully, they'll keep all of the amenities, because you never know when the end of the world will come. Number 7. The Urban Vertical Forest. Milan-based architecture studio Stefano Boeri's Vertical Forest is a residential building duo named Bosco Verticali. Officially opened in October 2014, Bosco Verticali, Vertical Forest, is a pair of award-winning residential towers in Porta Nuova, district of Milan, Italy. The towers have heights of 110 meters and 76 meters respectively and host 900 trees, measuring 3, 6, or 9 meters or 10 to 30 feet. There's also 2,000 plants, from a wide range of shrubs and floral plants distributed in relation to the facade's position towards the sun. What makes this a perfect spot in case of the apocalypse? There are a few reasons. 1. It provides a height advantage against the undead. Secondly, some of the levels could be adapted for vegetables rather than trees, which is important when grocery stores stop being a thing. It's a forest in the middle of a city! Number 6. Houses on the 1,000 Islands. The 1,000 Islands is an archipelago consisting of exactly 1,864 islands that straddles the Canada-US border in the St. Lawrence River. They stretch for about 80 kilometers on the St. Lawrence Seaway, but the largest clustering of islands falls between Cape Vincent and Alexandria Bay in the United States and Kingston and Rockport in Canada. The islands range in size from over 40 square miles to smaller islands occupied by a single resident, to even smaller uninhabited outcroppings of rocks that are home to migratory waterfowl. The number of islands was determined using the criteria that any island must be above water level all year round, have an area greater than 1 square foot, and support at least 1 living tree. The great thing about these homes is that because they're so isolated, it would be difficult for a zombie to get to them, unless zombies have learned how to use boats. Which they haven't, right? Number 5. Nike Missile Base. Nike Battery in southeastern Indiana was repurposed 30 years ago into a home and auto business. The original cost to build Nike was $18 million. In today's dollars, that would be over $100 million. Currently, the 14.5-acre site has 3 underground missile magazines that have yet to be converted. One of the magazines has been turned into a 4-bedroom, 2-bath home with an exercise room, an indoor swimming pool, and a jacuzzi. The second magazine is now a shop and garage space. Surrounding the property is a high-security chain-link fence topped with barbed wire. It also has a horse barn with 4 stables and an outdoor pool. The best feature of this property is the fence, which is good not only for zombies, but the roving band of psychopaths that always seem to arise during the apocalypse, if The Walking Dead is to be believed. This property has been up for sale since 2011. For some reason, it hasn't caught the eye of any doomsday preppers. Number 4. The ARC-2 facility. This is the second building on our list that was specifically built for the apocalypse. Don't worry about a thing, it's all been thought out ahead of time. The ARC-2 community in Canada has a 10,000 square foot nuclear shelter as part of its refuge facility. Bruce Beach began building ARC-2 in 1980. This may be the largest privately constructed nuclear fallout shelter in the world. 42 buses were used as forms to pour a minimum of 12 inches of high-strength concrete and was heavily reinforced with rebar. Other rooms include the surgery, a laundry room, a silent library, conference room, tool room, a chapel, exercise area, privacy room, and a nursery with a cry room. Number 3. Castle of Rincon. Located in Puerto Rico, Castle of Rincon is perched atop a mountain peak, giving 360-degree views of the surrounding countryside for whoever is on lookout duty that day. It's also equipped with gardens full of fruit trees and a 30,000-gallon water tank. It's 95% powered by solar panels and wind turbines, which means you can still have air conditioning and electricity, even after society has collapsed under the weight of the zombie plague. Number 2. House Island. Located in picturesque Casco Bay of Portland, Maine, not Portland, Oregon, House Island would seem to be a perfect getaway from the hellish scenes of devastation likely to be happening on the mainland. In case post-apocalyptic pirates with barbed wire-wrapped baseball bats try to make landfall, the island houses a 19th century fort that should help you hold them off. Interesting note about the fort: it was the only one along Maine's coast to see any action during the War of 1812. At this time, many of the buildings on the property aren't up to code, but that won't really matter during the apocalypse. Number 1. The Safe House. Out of all the houses on this list, This one was built specifically for the apocalypse. And if you ever need to run from the horde of flesh-eating undead, you should probably make this one your destination. It may actually see you through the ordeal. The safe house, designed by KWK Proms, appears at first to be a modern home, with its blocky shape and large glass windows. In fact, those windows make the house appear to be the last place you want to be in case the event of a zombie apocalypse. However, the house has a secret within its concrete walls. The most essential item for our clients was acquiring the feeling of maximum security, says the designer's website. The house's movable walls can cover the large windows, much like a drawbridge covering the castle's main entrance. With a push of a button, large slabs of concrete cover the vulnerable glass a zombie wouldn't be able to punch through. Unless zombies suddenly gain the ability to use a rocket launcher. Thanks for watching, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you next time on Peachy Planet.